What's your take on what's happening today with the likes of Northern Rock and another lender, Paragon, I think they are? What's your stance on that?
I think you're still seeing the fallout from the subprime crisis that started during the summer. I don't think you've seen the end of it. It's probably only run 50% of its course. I think what's probably happened over the last few years is the debt that's been that's been building in the US has been reparcelled, been given some fairly exotic sounding names, and has been sold around the world, and it's created a credit problem that is probably going to run for a while yet. The loans that some of these organisations need, like Paragon and some of the other organisations that are rumoured to be in trouble today, are getting more expensive. They're not going to have the access to them because they don't have the capital base or the credit ratings that banks are going to look for in order to lend them. So it's going to rumble on.
So you've been giving business advice here today. What's been your advice to people then who are starting up businesses?
Yeah, I hate to use the word business advice. Unfortunately, I'll be remembered for the loss of £862 million and the collapse of Barings Bank. So, trying to give business advice is a little bit fraudulent as far as I'm concerned. What I do is I tell the story. I tell the story in a very honest and candid manner. Look at things that happened to me during that period and highlight things that went wrong. And the Bank of England was very much at fault then. The legal limit that you could lend to a subsidiary of a bank was 20% of the bank's capital. Barings Bank's capital was only 250 million. I had 500 million with me in December 1994, which is clearly 10 times in breach of the legal limit. The Bank of England allowed that to happen, and I think why a lot of these things occur, why the collapse of Barings Bank occurred, is because there's a lack of understanding. And if you don't have the understanding of the products, of the markets and how things dovetail together, you're not able to challenge it intelligently. And I don't think the Bank of England has been in that position for a number of years. I think what happened at Northern Rock exposed some of the shortcomings within the bank, which effectively is the bastion of the financial community in this country, and that should be very worrying to everybody. I think they reacted in a manner that was appropriate. They probably didn't react quick enough, but I think it exposes, as it did in 1995 during the collapse of the bank, it exposes a lack of understanding of the financial markets. And what happens within the financial markets, I believe, is that a lot of the talent, a lot of the experience is directed towards the front end of the business. That then creates a vacuum behind it, because the people who are in the regulatory, the compliance and the risk management roles are simply not as good, and therefore they're always playing catch up, and they don't understand what impact products or activities in the market are going to have on the economy as a whole. And I think that's what happened with Northern Rock, and that's unfortunately what will continue to happen over the intervening period. The people in place in those regulatory roles, to my mind, are not good enough.